Didn't do anything.
Let's begin with Masai Ujiri's Toronto Raptors, looking to become the first team in the NBA to clinch a playoff spot this season. They were in Detroit. Second quarter, Blake Griffin, part of a 22-3 Pistons run. And the Raps are getting frustrated. Ibaka called for the foul on Griffin and obviously not happy about it. Continues to talk to the ref and is eventually thrown out of the game. Sixth career ejection. Dwayne Casey is obviously frustrated. Toronto outscored 36-18 in the second quarter. Third quarter. Kyle Lowry. And the foul. 12 points the third for Lowry. Then Norman Powell with the block on Reggie Bullock. And Lowry gets it up to Pascal Siakam. And the foul. Toronto erasing a 17-point deficit to lead by one after three. Kyle Lowry, 15 assists in this game. Lots of Raps fans on hand. Demar DeRozan, final minute of the fourth, tied at 109, spinning jumper. Toronto's in front. Griffin gets it to go in the foul. Pistons by one. Last chance for the Raps. What a play. DeRozan scored 15 of his game-high 42 in the fourth quarter. Not a lot of D by the Pistons. Then Mike Breen, last chance for Detroit down two. Griffin to tie it at 114 and send it to overtime. And in overtime, still tied with 10 seconds to go. DeRozan doing everything for the Raps. Fred VanVleet helped the Raptors to the dramatic 121-119 win, and the first NBA team to clinch a playoff spot, and the earliest the Raps have ever clinched by 16 days. They're on pace, the Raptors are, for a franchise best record 60-win season. Their next game Friday against Houston, that's going to be incredible. Wow.
Ooh.
Hey, ooh.
Troy.
Cinematic.
Troy's getting fancy over there.
Looks like we've got a young Stan Kubrick on camera. Hey, how about those Raps, man? That's exciting. And Dan, we're going to get to the Calgary Flames, who came into the evening just 3 points out of a playoff spot.
Right now, the NHL playoff picture contains in it two Canadian teams, Jets and Leafs. That's it. The Calgary Flames could possibly make it 3, but it all depends on what happens in their last 15 games. 3 points out of a wild card spot, meaning games like Wednesday's in Buffalo against the East's worst team. Yeah, that's beyond a must-win game. Calgary's lost 7 of their last 9 overall. Their scoring has dried up. Sam Bennett, pointless in his last 5, just over 5 minutes in. Travis Hamonic's shot goes off the side of the net. Weird bounce through Chad Johnson's leg. Bennett jumps on a loose puck. Calgary scored 2 or fewer goals in 3 of their last 4, but they got a 1-0 lead 3 minutes later. Bennett dances around Johan Larsson, finds Mark Jankowski. He beats Johnson, squeezes it under his arm. Jankowski grew up a Sabres fan, had season tickets with his dad as a kid. He's got his 12th. Johnny Gaudreau playing in his 300th career NHL game in the offensive zone. Then he makes his way across the line. Oh, blows a tire. Manages to keep the play alive. Gets it back. Feeds a wide open Sean Monahan backdoor. And Monahan's got his 30th. That's 1 off his career high. Flames scored 2 goals 61 seconds apart. Gaudreau causing all Sabres players to get caught puck gazing, leaving Monahan all alone. Chad Johnson, you stink! Choice words for the Flames bench. Huge blowout win for the Flames. They snap a 4-game slide. And Calgary's made things a little easier on themselves with their victory. They're just a point out of the final wildcard spot. Still a tough road for the Flames, with both the Kings and Avs having 2 games in hand on Calgary.
As they leapfrog the Caps and Philly find themselves 3 points back at the Pens. The Jackets, meanwhile, holding down that final wild card spot, 2 points up on Florida. We should mention, though, the Panthers have 3 games in hand. A 16-game win streak had Houston a half game up on Golden State for first in the Western Conference going into Wednesday's matchup with the Bucks. Rockets GM Daryl Morey has assembled a group of three-point shooting assassins led by leading MVP candidate James Harden. This one was fun to watch. Harden, 9 of the Rockets' 16 straight wins have come on the road, by the way. Dying seconds the first half.
Buzzer!
21 points for Harden at the half. Rockets up 9 at the break. Let's go back now to pregame. Giannis Antetokounmpo warming up with the help of Matthew, a local fan diagnosed with bone cancer. How cool is Antetokounmpo? How awesome is this guy? Great athlete, great guy. Third quarter, he's leading a Bucks comeback. He finished with a game-high 30. Fourth quarter, Harden blocked, and that's clean. Bucks cut their deficit to 5 late, but under a minute to play, Chris Paul, backing down the veteran Jason Terry, makes the shot. Rockets will extend their win streak to 17, tying the second longest streak in their franchise's history. They just continue to get it done, completely dismantling teams during the streak, averaging more than 12 points a game, more than their opponents. By the way, you may wonder, the longest streak, Houston's team record win streak, came back in 2007-2008 when they won 22 straight, powered by the great Yao Ming. Still to come on SportsCenter with Jay and Dan. Austin Matthews on the ice for the first time since suffering a shoulder injury February the 22nd. We'll update his status. Hands like a seamstress, some say. That's next.
Austin Matthews practiced with the Leafs for the first time since suffering a shoulder injury almost 2 weeks ago. Matthews skated on his own for about 35 minutes before joining the rest of his teammates for practice on Wednesday. He wore a red non-contact jersey during drills, did not take part in line rushes. The Leafs, in Austin Matthews' absence, picking up just 1 win in 5 games. The current 4-game winless skid ties the longest they've had this season, which happened in January. Professional athletes proved this week what a massive difference they can make in people's lives. Kevin Love openly discussed his mental health, thanks to Demar DeRozan, who helped open the door to that discussion. And on Wednesday, it was Dwayne Wade's turn to help others, as Wade paid a visit to students at Stoneman Douglas High School, where 17 people's lives ended just 3 weeks ago. Wade's visit to the school came on the first day of regular classes since the shooting. The Heat Stars dedicated the rest of this season to one of the victims, Joaquin Oliver, who is buried in Wade's jersey.
What you guys have been going through and how resilient you guys have been amazing from afar. And I just wanted to come and say I'm inspired by all of you. As someone out here in the public eye, I'm proud to say I'm from this state because of you guys, because of the future of this world, because of you guys. So I just say thank you, man, and I appreciate it.
He is South Florida. Let's walk over to the Producer Tim Lounge for our new segment, Dan, that I know you're excited about. Yeah. You gonna have a sip of coffee?
Come on in, have a seat.
Me too.
Ah, delicious.
That's good stuff. And now for the stories you need to know. It's time for the Jay and Dan Newsreel. There's no official update on Mark Scheifele. However, TSN hockey insider Darren Dreger is reporting that Scheifele is doubtful for Thursday's game in New Jersey. Scheifele suffered an upper body injury Tuesday against the Rangers, took a hard hit, took a few hard hits actually, appeared to be clutching his collarbone. Dreger said the injury doesn't appear to be serious, and that's amazing news because he missed 16 games earlier this season with a shoulder injury, so Jets fans were holding their breath.
Boston Bruins forward David Backes suspended 3 games for this hit on Franz Nielsen on Tuesday. Nielsen left the game after the hit, did not return. Backes given 2 minutes for roughing on the play. This is his first suspension of his career, because you're probably thinking, I don't remember. Yeah, he's not that type of player.
No, he isn't. The fact that Nielsen was injured played a part in the length of that suspension. Nielsen, by the way, first Danish player to play in the NHL. Nielsen.
Can we get an update on Backes' Russian dogs? Seriously, we need an update.
He adopted at least 50 of them. Ron Francis, no longer the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes. The team announced Wednesday Francis will become the president of hockey operations. The Canes also said they'll begin searching for a new GM immediately. This feels like a demotion in the guise of a promotion.
Ron Francis, how is he not a Moore suit model? Like, he looks like one of the guys straight out of the, like, however the Moores guy poses. No?
Ron Francis, so Tom Dundon, the new owner, is it Dundon?
Dundon, yeah.
He wants to call the shots, apparently. So Francis has got to go.
You kind of got to do what the owner says.
I guess you do. Yeah, it's his team. He can do what he wants.
The Seattle Seahawks trading defensive end Michael Bennett, a 7th-round pick to the Eagles in exchange for a 5th-round pick and wide receiver Marcus Johnson. Bennett was second on Seattle with 8.5 sacks last season.
Seahawks want to get younger and cheaper on defense, and he is neither. And it looks like Richard Sherman might be gone as well, and we'll talk to Mike Garafolo about that later. The LA Rams trading linebacker Alec Ogletree to the New York Giants for a 4th and 6th rounder in 2018, despite the fact they just signed him to a 4-year extension. Now, back in 2014, Ogletree started a fight with the entire Giants roster after hitting Odell Beckham Jr. late out of bounds.
They almost ran into our good friend Laura Oakman.
Yeah, the little oak tree, we called her.
So, how's that first day with the new team?
Yeah, it's got to be awkward. The Rams got to sign Aaron Donald. It looks like they're close to signing him, too. He'll be the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. And that's the Jane Dan newsreel. That's it.
Wow, the news just comes at a rapid pace.
Bam, bam, bam. I love that segment.
Jordan Eberle, who did not invite us to his wedding, will make his return to Edmonton on Thursday when the Isles visit the Oilers. Eberle, who spent 7 seasons in Edmonton before being traded for Ryan Strome, scored in his first game against the Oilers in November. He admitted, he still keeps an eye on his former team.
I watch them a lot. I keep tabs on them, see how they're doing, and obviously I think you can say that it's not the season that they expected and everyone expected. So, I've been through tough times in Edmonton. I've been through play years where we haven't made the playoffs, and it's not a fun thing to go through.
When you get traded for a guy like that, he's an exceptional player. His numbers speak for themselves, and there's always going to be expectations, and it is what it is. I mean, that's part of the business, and that's the way it's going to be. And for me, I haven't really worried about it too much. If anything, it's kind of just a challenge for me to kind of be better.
I'm assuming the Oilers going to do a little video tribute.
They've got to.
Oilers fans, on your feet,
yeah,
right?
they got to give him a standing O. They do. Great player. Didn't work out the way he wanted it to, but yeah, he still didn't invite us to his wedding, and we're bitter about that.
Yeah, you should have saw. We had the best gift too.
Yeah, way to go, Ebbs. The Ottawa Senators held their annual team photo Wednesday, where all eyes were on the front row. Erik Karlsson sitting next to team owner Eugene Melnyk. Beyond awkward. Melnyk threatened to relocate the team earlier this season, penned a letter to fans last week committing to keep the Sens in Ottawa, but omitted Karlsson's name from the letter entirely. The Norris Trophy winner is set to become an unrestricted free agent next summer. We thought that awkward moment. Oh, you were going to say something, sorry?
How long does it take to take a picture?
Seemed like it was taking, the photographer was dragging that out a little bit. Now, we thought that deserved a Jay and Dan unnecessary breakdown. It's one of our favorite segments. And we begin with Karlsson, who does not seem to be happy to be there, looking like a kid being forced to attend a dinner with his dad's accounting friend.
Yeah, that's never fun. I'm wondering about the gaps between Karlsson. Now, they were there for fans, get the picture taken, but how thin are these fans? That is not enough room for a full-grown human to sit comfortably.
That's why Jeff O'Neill will never appear on this show. That's what he said. That's his words, not mine. We're also curious why this guy is holding on to his fingers. Is he trying to ease the tension with the pull my finger routine? And then he just pulled it himself?
Yeah, if you pull 2 fingers, I don't want to know what happens. Lastly, TSN Super Zoom, take a look at what Eric's looking at in his glove. Oh, just looking at his no-trade list. Carries that wherever he goes.
He'll go almost anywhere.
That's been unnecessary breakdown.
It has been, Dan. And, oh, I like this. This is interesting.
Yeah, you're going to like this. The NHLPA released its results of its annual poll. Out of 435 players, Sidney Crosby voted the most difficult player to play against, edging out the reigning Hart Trophy winner, Connor McDavid, by more than 6%.
Despite a down season for Carey Price, he was overwhelmingly selected by his peers as the most difficult goaltender to score against. 41% of the vote. Bobrovsky was robbed.
McDavid may have lost it to Crosby earlier, but he was the runaway winner when players were asked which players to start a franchise with. Austin Matthews, distant third.
Half of the votes. Wow. Other categories. Toughest player, Ryan Reeves wins it in a landslide over Milan Lucic.
Most underrated player, that would be Nick Backstrom. He got that.
Which coach would you most like to play for? I thought this was interesting. Joel Quenneville got it by a pretty significant margin.
And best fans, this might surprise some, Chicago.
Yeah.
Not Nashville.
Interesting.
I guess maybe they're going for a longer tenure.
Yeah, I know Montreal got some votes, Toronto got some votes, Winnipeg, of course, got some votes. One category they did forget, best name in the National Hockey League. And here is the player poll. Rasmus Ristolainen, Nino Niederreiter, Kasperi Kapanen, Zemgus Girgensons, and, of course, Mike Smith. When we come back, the greatest award show segment in the history of award show segments on this show. The Jannies is coming up next on SportsCenter with Jay and Dan.
Oh, I know what's in that bag. It's the new butter tart. Tim Hortons drive-thru. Demar DeRozan had the assist to Fred VanVleet for the game-winning jumper in OT as the Raptors became the first team to clinch a playoff berth this season. DeRozan led the way, 42 points, 2 of which were this monster two-handed dunk. Calgary Flames stopped a 4-game losing streak thanks to a 5-1 win over the Buffalo Sabres. 5 different players scored for Calgary. Flames now sit in 10th place, a point ahead of the Idle Blues, and within one of the Kings and Avs. Toronto FC beat Tigres 2-1 in the opening leg of the CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinal. Jonathan Osorio scored the game winner on a beautiful back heel that found the back of the net.
The Imperial Swan. Cubs and Indians. Francisco Lindor is in midseason form. Getting Tommy La Stella. Lindor.
St. John's facing Georgetown. Justin Simon Says. Dunk it. No one plays Simon Says anymore.
The Wiggles do.
It's a forgotten game.
One of the Wiggles' names is Simon, and he always plays Simon Says.
Ah, okay.
That's information I wish I didn't know. Roller skating duo from the ACC tournament. Dan, you are loving every second of this.
Hey, babe, I got an idea. Just trust me on this one.
NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year putting in work. He took an entire weight rack with 4 plates for a... This seems like a lot of work.
You didn't invite me over, but I spied on you. This is amazing.
This is dedication. The beer guy didn't want to block the view of anyone, so he just slides into that guy's DMs.
What a mullet. Kobe Simmons, Chris Dunn battling for the ball. Simmons called for the blocking foul. Watch the official. Boom, boom.
And Demar DeRozan, you're going to see this a lot. The stills of that also very good from the camera behind the backboard. That's pretty nice.
I gotta say that was maybe one of our best Jannies ever. Why is my hand so red?
Mike Garafolo's coming up next, our NFL Insider.
We are 1 week away from the start of NFL free agency and trade season. We got a sneak peek Wednesday. With more, let's bring in our NFL Insider. Mike Garafolo.
NFL Network star reporter Mike Garafolo.
There isn't a nicer guy on the planet than our NFL insider Mike Garafolo. He is a master of technology and NFL information. From the NFL Network, our friend Mike Garafolo. Mike, a very busy day in Seattle. Richard Sherman reportedly messages teammates saying he won't be back next season. So Sherman is done in Seattle?
That's what it sounds like. I would say it's about 99% the case, because he did have a conversation today with general manager John Schneider and head coach Pete Carroll. They talked about the plans in front of them right now, and ideally for Seattle, they would trade him. They would get some value back for Richard Sherman, but now you're at a point where every team knows that you're likely moving on from this guy. So I would say that likely the outcome would be that he is going to be released. Now, I can tell you this, in that conversation, both Schneider and Carroll did say to Sherman that, hey, maybe we cut you, you go out, you look for another opportunity, and maybe you realize you want to come back here, and we'd love to have you back here. It would probably be at a lower number than the $11 million that he is due currently for this upcoming season. But I'm telling you right now, once they cut Richard Sherman, I would say there is a very, very slim chance that he would be back. So Sherman, realizing what that conversation was going to be about, tried to get in front of it, messaged his teammates, said, I'm likely out of here.
Just finished covering the Combine over the weekend. Did any player see their NFL draft stock rise?
Saquon Barkley, the Penn State running back. But I would be careful about that word rise, Jay, because I know a lot of people are saying, well, he cemented himself or he put himself in the conversation. My understanding is that the Cleveland Browns going into the Combine really looked at Barkley as a potential #1 pick, and that was only really cemented. I truly believe, as we sit here right now, for the first time since Kijana Carter, what was it, 94, 95, what year was it? Also a Penn State running back. Do believe that we are going to see a running back go #1 overall.
Wow.
Now, the Browns also need a quarterback, also have that #4 overall pick. The quarterback that they like, that I'm told that they like, is Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Now, a lot of people might say Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, those are the guys that are going to go first. But Cleveland, from my understanding, really likes Mayfield, isn't really scared off by his personality or his size. Would not be surprised if it's Saquon at 1 and then Mayfield at 4, or maybe even a trade back for the Browns. But if those are the two guys they come away with in the draft, I wouldn't be shocked.
Then the Browns are back, baby. They're back big time. Mike Garafolo, we love you. We miss you.
Poor Kijana.
Last month, a Pennsylvania-based company bought 3 billboards in Cleveland in an attempt to entice LeBron James to sign with the Sixers in the offseason, saying Philly wants LeBron and complete the process. Well, this week, Lakers fans took notice and countered by purchasing a couple billboards of their own ahead of the Lakers' home game on Sunday against the Cavs. One of them reads, LeBron, forget the process, we win banners. Philly fans, not intimidated by LA fans mocking the process. You know what? They doubled down.
Yeah, big time.
Erected this billboard. LeBron, process the process, and the title will be processed by our process. So LA fans doubled down on LeBron James with.
Well, it's LeBroby Bry James, Mabron Johnson, Kareem Abron Jabron. See what we're doing here? And upon seeing that, the Sacramento Kings fans saw an opportunity. Hello, we're the Sacramento Kings, a basketball team in the NBA. We have an arena and play in Sacramento and are looking for NBA players. We'll consider anyone. Again, that's the Sacramento Kings. We are a team. And they included their email address. It's a Hotmail address right on the bottom. Very convenient.
Coming up, this John Klingberg mishap made it onto the highlight reels for all the wrong reasons. We're counting down klutzy plays. The SportsCenter Top 10. Oh, no. That John Klingberg fall inspired the top 10. So that means at this very moment, our good friend and Senators legend Chris Phillips is hyperventilating, wondering if he's on this list. Well, Chris, have a seat and enjoy the top 10 klutzy plays, which is a Chris Phillips free zone. You can sit back and enjoy them just like you.
Let him off the hook early.
Devin Gucci looking to extend the shootout. Oh, everything went wrong there. Yeah.
This Sam Decker highlight never gets old. And then he just...
Roberto Hernandez, formerly known as Fausto Carmona, bunts the ball, tries to beat out the throw. Oh, no. That looks like it kind of hurt.
Casey Printers, formerly known as Casey Printers and currently known as Casey Printers, fumbles the ball. And Ronald Flemings picks it up into the end zone and fumbles it at the 1, and the Lions recover.
When do we get a 30 for 30 on Casey Printers?
They're working on it right now, a TSN original.
Tuukka Rask stumbles on his own skate. He wouldn't have stumbled on his skate, he just fell.
Pirates and Cubs. Bases loaded for the Cubs in the 12th. Pop up to shallow right. Gregory Polanco, no.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Polanco tripped! What a finish!
Niners Dolphins, a field goal would ice it for the Finns. The kick is blocked by Garo Yepremian. No, he recovers. Yepremian recovered, doesn't have a grip on the ball. Niners go the other way for the score.
And by the Niners, we mean the Redskins.
My script
I know, it says Niners on the
Why did it
script.
say? If some words are put in front of me, I just read them.
Me too. Oh, you love this one, Dan. Remember this? Jack Cuss caught in the rundown. Okay, it's not looking good for Jackie. But wait a minute, nobody's covering home play. You're free and clear. Oh, he fell. Oh, God.
Stars and Oilers. That was working this night. You were like, what? Did that just happen? And then the Oilers go the other way. Score.
Hemsky.
Patrick Steffen.
That just sums up his whole career. And butt fumble. And butt fumble.
And then going into the end zone is Steve Gregory.
Mark Sanchez not expecting it. And it
Butt
was
fumble.
the backside of
Butt
Brandon
fumble.
Moore that knocked the
That's how
ball
you get
out.
pink eye.
I've never seen
Do you think he ended up with pink eye after that?
No. He was fine.
Well, he wasn't. It didn't really work out for him. Yeah, he was wearing a helmet.
So I guess we have you blew it on that one for me.
No, I think that was scriptwriter Andrew Zwarich who blew it for you on that one. So Andrew really needs to think about what he's doing on this show. He's
Right.
on thin ice.
He ever shows his face on this
Yeah. I
show
haven't seen
again.
him for a long
Oh,
time.
there he is right
There
over
he is.
there. Ah, okay. I see him. People are still on Twitter, right?
I think so. I think it's still got a few years left. Oh, it's our popular You Blew It segment. I said that James Harden buzzer beater in that Rockets-Bucks game made it a 9-point lead. It was a 12-point lead. Is that right? Yeah.
Then I messed up in that top 10 at the Niners and the Redskins.
And then...
and I forgot to explain why Chris Phillips would have been in that, because he scored on his own net.
That's right. And then Roy Williams tried to rip his own suit jacket apart. Watch it again.
You can't do that with a Men's Warehouse garment.
No, no.
No ripping those.
That is Men's Warehouse quality at its finest.
You're gonna like the way you look.
I guarantee it.
I don't think those commercials made it up here. Ah.
That's a large mug.
You deserve that
Holy,
cocktail.
just crush that.
Crush that vodka.
Crush it.